Okay, here we go. Okay, 6170 to 6175. You see some cops here. Let's put that. Excuse me? I heard there was a trial taking place in this courtroom today. Yes. Is there one? Okay, I'd like to watch. Is that okay? Okay, thank you.
Do you have a letter on my docket? No, you said you were taking a trial just to see what you want. Okay. Okay, does either side wish to make that witness statement before we start with the trial? No, that's the way. Okay. So we are here on a city information that I have, which is the information with one count existing without violence. Is that right? That's correct. Municipal Ordinance 16-1B66 alleges that Mr. Freeman on the 19th day of August at 644 Northwest 9th Avenue in the city of Fort Lauderdale did unlawfully resist, obstruct, or oppose any officer or other person in the lawful execution of any legal duty to wit Officer Fairburn without offering or doing violence to the person or the officer who has refused to obey the officer's command in an investigation contrary to Municipal Ordinance 16-1 Florida Statute 84302. Is that right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, you may call your first name.
Kathleen Mendes in Fort Lauderdale. The city called Officer Fairburn.
This is one to just want to express, no, I don't, put it on the record, I told him to do that. Fine with the any objection, mention of prior bad acts, and again, we objected to any willing to violate.
Again, you not objecting to that?
Sorry?
Again, you
It's
not
not
objecting?
if the state brings up anything about his prior, he indicated to me that he's fine, he was going forward with that. I told him he had the right, I objected those things, he's going over time.
Okay. Well, so the record should be clear, I did accept some pleas for Mr. Freeman and some other matters, so I don't have any of them here in front of me, but I know that he resolved some other matters in front of me. The other thing is that by stipulation, by agreement of the parties, we're here on a non-jury trial. And Mr. Freeman has previously indicated that he's okay with that. Is that right? Yes, please. Could you just raise the clerk, raise your right hand?
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony shall give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Make it maybe clear. Hold the microphone toward you. State your full name, spell your last name for the record.
First name Justin, last name Fairburn, Fairburn.
Good afternoon, Officer Fairburn. Where do you work?
City of Fort Lauderdale Police Department.
How long have you worked there?
Since March 24th, 2008.
And were you working on August 19, 2018?
Yes.
In what area were you working that day?
In reference to the call, it was 624 Northwest 9th Avenue.
And what shift were you working at?
Afternoon shift, please.
And did you happen to go to a location at 624 Northwest 9th Avenue that day?
Yes.
Okay. Why were you at that location?
We were there to investigate a child protective services call in reference to a 1-year-old that was possibly being by a fetus from the mother.
And you said we were there. Who else was with you?
Myself and Officer Jordan Vasquez.
And who's fetus?
That's BSO's Child Protective Services.
Okay. And when did you arrive at that location, approximately?
That was the clock, or the report to time, but I'm not exactly sure what time.
Well, when you did arrive at that location, where did you go?
We parked our cars off of, Vasquez and I parked our cars on Northwest 9th Avenue, and we walked to apartment 4 in the back of the green or red apartment at 624 9th Avenue, and they contacted with the mother and the people investigator.
Okay. And can you describe the layout of the apartments that you responded to that day?
Sure. Northwest 9th Avenue is also Power Line Road. It runs north and south. To the east of that is a parking lot with a sidewalk, and then it's an open courtyard with green apartments on the north and south side. I'm sorry, north and south. They run like east and west. So like perpendicular to 9th Avenue. And the apartment was on the north corner and the rear of the apartment complex. So the courtyard, we're in the rear back corner near them.
Okay. And is this a public place?
No, private property.
Okay. Owned by?
The Lennox apartment.
And when you arrived, you said you went to apartment 4.
Right.
Okay. Did you have to pass apartments 1, 2, and 3 in order to get to 4?
Yes.
Okay. So 4 was the last apartment in the back of the complex?
Yes.
Okay. What's behind apartment 4?
It's a chain link fence, and then it continues with another set of apartments on the other side.
Okay. So it closed off the property?
Correct.
Okay. When you first arrived, you made contact with the CCIS investigator?
Correct.
Okay. And what happened when you made contact with them?
So they just go over a brief synopsis of why they're there. They're investigating a claim for either neglect or child abuse for the child. We made contact with them.
What type of investigation were you responding to?
It was a child abuse and neglect case.
And what did you do as part of your investigation for that call?
We originally made contact with the mom, investigated that portion of it inside the apartment. The grandmother arrived, and this investigator asked us to step out. He was sensitive information that she didn't want to discuss with the mother, so we stepped outside, just outside apartment 4, at the front door and the courtyard, and began discussing the matter with the 1-year-old. The grandmother was holding the 1-year-old.
Okay. And where was the grandmother standing in relation to where you were standing?
So I had my back facing Northwest 9th Avenue. I'm facing eastbound. She was to my left, I would say, so she was north of me. Officer Vasquez was across from me facing westbound, and the fetus investigator was to the east of me facing northbound, like on a circle.
So within a foot?
Within a foot of each other, yes.
And during your investigation at that location, did you happen to come in contact with someone who knows that Mr. Nickolas Freeman?
Yes.
Okay. And at what point during your investigation did you come in contact with Mr. Freeman?
So we've already stepped outside to discuss the matter with the grandmother.
Let me just stop you. When you say you stepped outside, was that directly in front of the apartment?
Yes, outside of apartment 4, just outside the door, in the grassy area in front of the door. So the 4 of us were standing there with the baby. I didn't see Mr. Freeman walk up until the grandmother and the fetus investigator turned and started yelling at him to stop filming, and then leave, and then you started, I'm not filming you, I was going to the officer, and the grandmother started saying, you need to leave, stop filming me. The fetus investigator started yelling, I don't want you filming, you need to get off the property, you need to leave me alone. I then turned around, told him to stop, and he was free to leave, and he was going to arrest the fetus interfere with the investigation for no reason, walked on private property that didn't belong to him, and just started filming and put himself in a situation he didn't need to be a part of.
Were you done with your investigation when Mr. Freeman approached you?
No, we just began talking with grandmother.
Did you have to stop your investigation to continue the situation when he approached the four of you?
Yes, the grandmother became very upset and started yelling. The CPS investigator became upset and started yelling. I then had to grab him, detain him, walk him to my car. I never even made it back to finish the investigation. Officer asked us to finish it by himself.
And when Mr. Freeman was videotaping, where was he pointing his phone?
He was standing in the middle of the courtyard facing east. I'd say approximately 5 to 10 feet away from me, and he was filming the whole four of us. All of us.
Including the 1-year-old?
Yes.
Is that why the grandmother was upset?
Yes.
And how did you handle Mr. Freeman videotaping and not stopping on your command?
When I turned around, I told him to stop and continue to report. I just told him that you're not free to leave, and at which point he started to lower his phone, and I grabbed him and I detained him.
And prior to you turning around and asking him to stop videotaping, he was also asked by the CPS and the grandmother correct?
Multiple times.
How far away is apartment 4 from the public street and sidewalk in front of these apartments?
Approximately 80 or 90 feet.
And do you know where Mr. Freeman came from?
I don't know. He approached me from where I was able to right.
But where you were standing during your investigation was not a public sidewalk or public place, correct? Does Mr. Freeman live on any of the apartments at the address of 624 North 14th Avenue? How do you know that?
Prior to that, I first time it was house where he lived at 512 Northwest 16th Avenue.
Okay, and after you take Mr. Freeman under arrest, what happened next?
When he was detained in my car, I had a citizen ride along with me, who was in the car. The standard, he started cursing at me, they threatened that he'd be seeing me later. I tried to and he, I know there's a specific line in the report, I'm trying to recall it. He was trying to talk me out of arresting him by giving information on the streets. Like he had information that if he told me, I would just let him go and then I could go make another arrest for someone else.
Yeah, he continued to do it.
Right.
How long did you divert your attention from the original investigation that you were at the scene for in order to handle Mr. Freeman's arrest?
It took me the remainder of the call to effect the arrest.
So you were never able to complete your investigation and you were called up for it?
No, Officer Bass said that if they go to the initial report.
Would you say that was due solely to the actions of Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Did you see Mr. Freeman report today?
Yes.
Can you please point to him and describe an article clothing for him?
Gentleman in orange, but I'm sure.
Does it add the record to reflect the for identification? And did all of these events that took place occur in the city of Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, Florida?
Yes.
No further questions. Mr. George?
Thank you.
Officer Fairburn, the city of Fort Lauderdale Police Department has been utilizing body cameras since 2018, is that correct?
I don't know the exact date. We had a pilot program and then initiated every officer got a body cam. Originally, there was only a select few that had it.
And did you have one, or did Officer Bassett have one when this happened?
I did not have one now. I'm not sure about Officer Bassett.
Did you take any pictures of the areas where you just sort of judge where everything is?
I had a screenshot grab of the location where it took place. Yeah.
Did you use them in after the?
No. The school board.
Oh, who were, all right, you did not bring the date.
No. And this location, did you observe any, well, you didn't, first of all, you didn't make any trespass arrests in this, correct? Correct. And had Mr. Freeman been trespassing, he would have trespassed, correct? I was giving him a trespass warning, so that you didn't. I asked him to leave. I didn't. You didn't give him a trespass warning. You didn't arrest him for trespass. I did not, correct? No, to trespass on someone, to arrest someone for trespassing, you have to have previously warned them for trespassing. So you did not give him a trespass warning. No. Now, Officer Vasquez reported to the incident for the same reason that you have reported to the incident. For the secret investigation, yes. And he completed that investigation, correct? Correct. Now, in your statement in direct, you stated that you didn't even know that Mr. Freeman was anywhere around you. Yes, it wasn't until the family and the secret investigator had to direct their attention to him. And what you also mentioned in direct is that you, after your attention was brought to Mr. Freeman's presence, you approached Mr. Freeman. Is that correct? Yes. And you wrote a police report in this case? Yes. And your police report doesn't make any mention of Mr. Freeman offering any information to you in an effort for you not to arrest him. Is that correct? I'm sorry, it doesn't say that? It does not say that. From what I recall, I put that in my report. I don't know if that report is mentioned. Are you looking at a probable cause affidavit or the narrative? It should be like the last paragraph. I'm looking at what I was provided, which is the probable cause affidavit. That's not here. Did you tell Mr. Freeman that he would have a specific time or that he had to move a specific distance away from you if he wanted to videotape this incident? No. Mr. Freeman prides himself on knowing where he can and can't stand. And you were out in the open, is that correct? I was on private property in the courtyard. Now, within 5 feet of the door. You keep mentioning this private property. Do you have any documentation to show that this property was owned by someone other than the government? I work the detail for Lennox Apartment. I'm sure I can provide a detailed form that indicates that that's private property. It's not owned by the city or the state.
Is it a housing project?
I'm not aware of it. I just know it's owned by Lennox Apartment.
So you're not aware it's a housing project. You have no documentation to show whether or not it's actually private property or whether it's government property that's being leased and managed by them. Is that correct?
That's correct. I don't have that. Now, to the best of your knowledge, has your department issued any directives or any policies regarding a civilian's right to receive training on that? Naturally, yes. Have you received training? Has there been any policy directives? Anything of that? Not that I'm aware of. And I noticed, is it a true statement, would you agree with me that when you approached Mr. Freeman, you placed him in handcuffs without any incident and walked him to his profile? Without any incident. What do you mean by without any incident? After you told him to put away the stop videotaping, he did not. You approached him, handcuffed him without incident, and walked him to his profile. Right. I don't have any.
Officer Fairburn, to your knowledge, the property that you want is a private apartment complex, correct?
Correct.
And the audience that Mr. Freeman was reporting that day was only yourself, Officer Vasquez, the CPIS investigator, and the grandmother with the 1-year-old baby, correct?
Right.
Okay. Was there anything else happening in the area that needed to be, that was of public interest to Mr. Freeman?
No.
Thank you for the question.
This was a secret? They just witnessed the excuse?
I do have a rebuttal based on, not a rebuttal, but
Officer Fairburn, did you search the content of Mr. Freeman's phone?
Objection, I was told my
So you never saw what he did?
I placed the phone into evidence and it was never, I never reviewed it nor do I think you're not going to review it.
Yes. Yes, the case calls Officer Vasquez.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony shall give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. From microphone 40, say your full name, say your last name for the record.
Jordan Vasquez, that's Vasquez.
Good afternoon, Officer Vasquez. Where do you work?
That's a Fort Lauderdale Police Department,
Okay, how long have you worked there?
since May of 2014.
Okay, were you working on August 19th of 2018?
Yes.
Let me direct your attention to that day. That day, did you responsibly call at a location 624 North Oakland Avenue?
Yes.
And what was that call regarding?
Department of Children and Families, Child Protective Services,
And who else responded to that call with you?
Officer Fairburn.
Did you respond at the same time?
Yes.
And when you first arrived at that location, who did you contact with?
We were made contact with the DCF investigator,
And where did you make contact with?
was the front of the location.
Was there a specific apartment here?
We went over to the most eastern apartment, it was either one or four.
So this was the back of the unit?
Yes.
And when you made contact with her, was it inside the apartment, outside the apartment?
So we talked with her and then we walked over to the investigation.
Okay. And who was there during your investigation?
Their family members, the involved party, the 1-year-old, that's the topic of the investigation.
And at any point, were you outside of the apartment during the investigation?
Yes.
Why?
To get away from other family members and stuff, sensitive information.
Your sensitive information you're speaking about regarding the animal?
Yes.
And during your investigation outside, did you happen to come into contact with someone who was doing a certain therapy or treatment?
Yes.
How did you come into contact with him that day?
He approached us and was filming us
When you first noticed him, where was he approaching you from?
to the west of us.
Which is in what? Is it away from the last apartment? Is it towards the
Towards us, coming from the roadway, passing the sidewalk, coming into what I guess we call the courtyard area, towards where that last apartment is.
And when you first noticed him, what was he doing?
Filming.
How was he filming? With what?
I think it was a cell phone.
And where did he go at this time?
He walked towards us, towards like mid-courtyard. Mid-courtyard.
And who noticed you filming first?
Fairburn.
Anyone else that was in the
I noticed, oh yes, the family with the, so there's a lady holding the 1-year-old child that was involved in the investigation. She noticed him and she became irate upon noticing him. And it was kind of drawing her attention away from us when we were trying to do our investigation.
Was your investigation complete prior to the thing walking up to you?
No.
Okay. Where were you in part of the investigation?
We still have a lot of information that came from her. Critical information because it involved the custody of that 1-year-old with removing of 1-year-old custody.
Okay. And how did Mr. Freeman's actions affect your ability to conduct your investigation? Yours and Officer Fairbairn's.
So every time we were trying to talk to the female on scene who was holding the child, we were trying to get information for our report. Her attention kept getting diverted to Freeman, who was over there filming. So it interfered with our ability to investigate.
Okay. And what was your response to Mr. Freeman's actions at this time?
Asked him to leave.
And did he leave?
No.
And what happened next?
Officer Freeman approached him. I couldn't hear exactly what they exchanged as far as words, but I know that Officer Fairburn put him in handcuffs and directed him.
Would it be fair to say that Officer Fairbairn's investigation was obstructed by Mr. Freeman's actions? Did Officer Fairbairn lead the investigation due to Mr. Freeman's actions? And what did you do when Officer Fairbairn left the investigation?
I went over to them and then I went back to try to finish our investigation.
Okay. At any point did Officer Fairbairn come back and complete that investigation?
I had to do the investigation for the PCS investigation.
And do you see the person that Mr. Freeman is reported today?
Yes.
Did you see Freeman present?
Still over there on Orange Street.
And did these events take place in the city of Fort Lauderdale, County, Florida?
Yes.
And one more question. The area where the event took place was a private apartment building? The area that this took place in, what was it?
It was like an apartment complex. Public, I think what, street and all that, I don't, the courtyard in I know that I think the room trespassing on file, but I'm not exactly sure who the property is, but I know it's not. It's like a courtyard area that Warwick residents the place go.
And do you know Mr. Freeman is a resident of that apartment?
Not that I'm aware of.
No further.
So that's where, on that date, when you occurred, did you have a license?
Not yet.
Did you take any photographs of the area?
I did not.
Now, you mentioned that you made contact with the steepest officer towards the front of the location, and you mentioned it was the most eastern side of the location. Is that correct?
That was in the west.
So you made contact with the most western side of the location.
Yes.
And that's the direction from which you say that Mr. Freeman went.
Correct.
Now, did Mr. Freeman come between you and any of the witnesses?
So just to clarify, we made contact in our western part and walked into the courtyard east to the apartment. So if you have to enter into the west side and walk to the courtyard east wall to get to the northeastern part of the something like that.
Now, it's the most western side, is that where Northwest 9th Avenue is located?
Yes.
So, my next question is, while you were interviewing any of the witnesses or Mr. Freeman on the stand between you
Physically in between them?
Yes.
No.
Did you come and stand between Officer Fairburn and any of the witnesses?
I don't believe so.
How far away would you say Mr. Freeman was when you noticed
When I initially saw him walking up,
when he was videotaped?
when he was videotaping us, 15 feet,
50 feet.
man. Maybe at some point less than that.
Was he yelling anything at you or at the witnesses?
I don't remember exactly what was said during the exchange. I know there was yelling back and forth between the female we were interviewing that had the 1-year-old and Mr. Freeman. I don't remember the exact verbiage what they were saying.
But between you or Officer Fairburn and Mr. Freeman?
They also exchanged dialogue. I don't recall exactly what was said.
While you were conducting the investigation, was he yelling anything at you or officers?
Yeah, there's elevated voices yelling. I don't remember exactly what was said.
I'm not following. Are you saying that Mr. Freeman was yelling at you or Officer Fairburn while you were speaking?
So they were yelling back and forth, him and the female.
So before the female started to yell at Mr. Freeman, did you even know that he was there?
Yes.
How did you know that?
I saw him walking up.
And when you saw him walking up, you did not, there was nothing about him that caused you any panic or concern that you went to your approach him as he was walking up. Is that correct?
I didn't approach him then.
Now, Officer Bassett, are you familiar with any Fort Lauderdale Police Department policies concerning officers being filmed under your policy?
As far as, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes, I'm asking if you are familiar with any City of Fort Lauderdale Department policy concerning officers being filmed in public.
Yeah, I know that we're allowed to be filmed in public.
You mentioned that someone asked Mr. Freeman to leave. Was that you or was that Officer Fairburn?
That would have been Officer Fairburn.
And to the best of your knowledge, at that point when he was asked or given an order or command to leave, what law was he violating?
The actions of that were causing an obstruction of our investigation, interfering with our ability to interview the female, and we needed that information for our investigation. That was along with Chief Secretary of the Department of Family. So
let me understand. He didn't come between you and the witnesses. Is that correct?
Like physically standing between us? No.
He didn't yell anything at you or the witnesses initially when he came on the scene. Correct?
He was yelling, they were yelling back and forth.
But he wasn't the one to initiate any sort of yelling, correct?
They were yelling back and forth. I don't know who started what, but they were yelling back and forth, and now we're causing us not to be able to complete our job.
Your statement was that as he came up, the witness that you were interviewing started yelling at him. Is that correct?
I didn't say that. It said they were yelling. They were yelling back and forth.
So then, and you also stated that as far as you know, when you're in the public, citizen has the right to videotape.
Right. So
then
the courtyard of this, though, if you're not a resident there, what business do you have being there if you don't live on this private property?
If you have no knowledge, no personal knowledge of whether or not Mr. Freeman was at that house, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
Not that I'm aware of.
And did you have any personal knowledge as to whether or not Mr. Freeman was visiting anyone who resided at that property?
Not that I'm aware of.
Now, you mentioned that you're also uncertain as to whether or not this property, forget what you said exactly, I didn't have a chance to write it down, but you mentioned something about ownership or management of the property. And you mentioned the name, if I'm not mistaken.
The green?
Yes.
It might be the green, but I have to double check.
So you are not certain as to who may own this property or who may manage the property?
I personally am not sure.
And do you have any knowledge as to whether or not this was a public housing project?
I'm aware of.
Now, do you know whether or not Mr. Freeman was charged with or arrested for trespassing?
As I referred to before, I thought he was charged with obstruction. Obstruction was the charge?
Yes, I'm asking you if you know whether or not he was charged with
I
trespassing.
believe Officer Fairburn charged him with obstruction.
Yes,
I didn't charge him.
Right, but do you know whether or not he was charged with trespassing?
Not that I'm aware of.
City having left this case then?
Because I'm going to refer my motion to President Mr. Freeman, and call the city to provide that.
Only swear or affirm that the testimony shall give in this case that the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you, David Peters. So the microphone towards you. State your full name, spell your last name for the record.
Nickolas Freeman, Freeman.
Mr. Freeman, do you remember this incident that we're discussing here today?
It was on my birthday, like today. Yes, I do.
This particular location, do you know anyone that resides at that location?
Several people.
And on that particular day, did you have some sort of police blotter that let you know where police were going to be, or were you there for some other reason?
It was my birthday. I was going to a friend's house who invited me over for my celebration of my birthday, and I happened to see two cars parked in my gallery on Collins Road.
And you went ahead and you proceeded to get a case law.
I first approached to where I can see through the courtyard, and I saw them standing outside. So I walked about 5 feet from the sidewalk into the sidewalk that leads to the courtyard. I started recording there.
So you were on the sidewalk or the walkway that led to the court.
Yes.
And how far away were you from the office?
Like over the back where it says 10 to 15 feet.
And at any point, did you physically go close to the officers and between the officers, or did you approach the officers from the vantage point where you were?
Absolutely.
How did you come into contact with them?
Well, again, I was standing there recording, and I noticed a woman holding a baby, and she immediately asked me not to record the baby. I replied to her that I'm not recording her, I'm recording the officers in the course of their duties. And she asked me again to stop, and I remember distinctly my words to her were, "Ma'am, I don't want to call you, so I'm going to walk away." As I was walking away on my phone, that's an officer Fairburn told me I'm not free of love. And he did jump in the team, he jumped in arrested.
And then you put handcuffs on you and arrested.
He put handcuffs on me and arrested me. It wasn't the first time I recorded Officer Fairburn.
So you had prior interaction with law
Absolutely, you know exactly what I do.
regarding this very thing. Thank you for that.
Good.
So you said it was your birthday, and you wanted to do a friend's house. Okay. But your friend's place wasn't located within those 4 apartments where you contact the video team that was the friend, correct?
No, it wasn't located there.
Where was it located?
As Officer Fairburn described, there's one set of apartments here on both sides. The courtyard goes through, and the sinks that he mentioned, there's an opening to the sink. You could walk through the tent, go to the next building, I was at my friend's house. It's a common place to walk through.
But it was not in the vicinity of those 4 apartments?
No.
Okay. And you happened to see their police cars parked on Colorado Road and that's what your attention?
Correct.
Okay. So you deterred from going to your friend's house at that point, correct?
Well, he deterred me.
Okay.
I was still going.
The officers deterred you?
Yes, they took me to jail.
So when you approached them, when you realized that they were outside talking to a woman?
I didn't approach him.
You didn't walk towards the officers?
Absolutely. I walked toward the courtyard and stood about 10, 15 feet away. That's not approaching. In the same vicinity.
Did you not have your phone out, video, and
Absolutely.
walk towards them?
I did.
And as you walked towards them, the woman that was holding the baby was visibly upset that you were recording her, correct?
She was getting there.
Okay. And she asked you to stop a couple times, correct?
She asked me not to record the baby.
Okay. And
She never asked me to stop recording, just not record the baby.
and you didn't stop when she asked you that, correct?
I never recorded the baby.
You didn't stop recording.
She never asked me to stop recording, just not to record the baby.
And after she asked you to stop recording, the Officer Fairborn, also asked you to stop recording. Isn't that
Never once.
Oh, so your testimony, you never asked you once to stop?
Never once asked me to stop. He didn't even speak to me.
Up until the time Officer Fairborn made contact with you, you were still recording, correct?
Absolutely.
So you never stopped until he was engaged.
No, I'm sorry. I stopped recording as I instructed to the, I guess now the grandmother, that I didn't want to cause her any more concern, so I stopped. And I put my phone down, and as I was putting my phone down, walking away, he approached me and arrested me.
Okay, just a few seconds ago, you stated that you were telling the grandmother you weren't recording the baby.
Correct.
But you were recording, correct?
I was recording the scene, correct.
So you were recording the entire time, you were standing in the sun.
Up until I told her I would, and I put the phone down. I'm not here for civilians, I'm here for government citizens.
Any other witnesses?
No, sir, thanks, sir.
Okay, the defense having rested now as well. I haven't obviously had a chance to read the case, maybe I'll just read it.
Because I mentioned, I had presented, when I filed a motion to dismiss, I presented case law in that motion. So there's differences provided support, or they're more updated versions of that case law.
Standing for the proposition that
And for the proposition that Mr. Freeman, that there was no crime committed. Mr. Freeman has a First Amendment right to videotape the police officers in any public setting. And there's been no evidence presented to the court here today that this is not a public setting. Despite what the officers may have said, one officer says that it was a private residence owned by
we gotta take a breath. Give me a minute, I'll be right back. continue on the record.
Judge, before I continue, there's something I was remiss to mention, and I certainly need to be mentioned for the record, that I renew my objection, Judge, or I renew my motion to dismiss based on the precedent of State versus Nunez, which is C81 Southern 2nd, 658, the 3rd District Court of Appeal opinion rendered in 2004, and State versus Calagaropoulos, which is 758 Southern 2nd, 110, the Supreme Court opinion from 2004, Florida Supreme Court opinion from 2000. And those particular cases stand for the proposition that the state, when the state files a traverse and alleges that there are additional facts, those additional facts need to be statistically delineated. And in this particular case, the government didn't do so. All they did was they stated that they denied one of my allegations, and the court found that was sufficient. And I want to again renew that objection that I feel that was insufficient, and it did not meet the requirements of a proper traverse.
Okay, so the record will reflect that.
Just before the court stepped out, what I was mentioning, I forget where I left off.
You said there was no evidence that this was not a public place.
Right, there's no evidence this is not a public place. This is, I think one officer said this apartment complex belongs to the Lennox, what it's called the Lennox apartment. The other officer said it was called the Green. There's no agreement as to whether or not it was a public housing project that was managed by any one of these entities, or there was a private residence. It's also that it was a private residence, given the fact that these were apartment complexes. But regardless of whether or not it was private or public, the fact of the matter is that it's uncontroverted that Mr. Freeman had a right to be there. Had he not had a right to be there, he would have been arrested and charged with trespass. He wasn't. And also the officers were out in the open. They were out in the public. And Mr. Freeman, under the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, has an unequivocal right to videotape police officers who are performing their official duties in the public. I provided the court initially when I filed a motion to dismiss with the First Circuit Court of Appeals opinion of Glick, United States, of Glick versus Cunniff. And Cunniff is spelled C-U-N-N-I-F-F-E. And it's the First Circuit Court of Appeals opinion cited as 655 F3rd 78, and was opinion decided in 2011. What I provided the court with today is a Third Circuit Court of Appeal opinion that was rendered in July of last year, July of 2017, 2 years ago. And that's Fields versus the City of Philadelphia, and that's cited as 862 F3rd 353. What I want the court to know is that, as stated in the City of Philadelphia case, and as stated in one of the cases that was provided to me by Kaiser, she provided me the case of Turner versus Lieutenant Driver, and the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals opinion, cited at 848 F3rd 678, which was rendered before the City of Philadelphia opinion. The Turner opinion was rendered in February of 2017. The City of Philadelphia opinion was rendered in July of 2017. With all of these opinions, they state and they state that every circuit court of appeal to address this very same issue about filming police officers in public. And they go through and they mention the First Circuit, the Fifth Circuit, the Seventh Circuit, the Ninth Circuit, and the 11th Circuit, which is where Florida is located, has held that there is a First Amendment right to record police activity in public. They go through and they list a string of cases, which I won't mention now, but I can provide this for you some other time to court life. To the extent that the First Amendment of the United States Constitution provides them to Freeman with an unequivocal right to videotape the police while they conduct their official duties in public. It's my position that no time was committed here. This is the current status of the law concerning this issue. This isn't hyperbole, this isn't fiction, this isn't presupposition, this is the law. Yes, there's much more. So I like to quote the court in the city of Philadelphia. The court stated that.
Where are you?
Sure, Judge. I am at page 359 in the opinion itself, and that would be. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
359, okay.
And it would be in the right-hand column,
Okay.
where you see it's at note 4. Note 4 and starts with the word access, where the court explains that access to information regarding public police activity is particularly important because it is in this court the highest rung of hierarchy of and values and entitled to special protection. And then it goes on to say, if you go down to 205, it goes on to say, the court what there is the right for the eye to see or the ear to hear, corroborate or lays aside subjective impressions for objective facts. Hence, the report is to see and hear more accurate. Recordings also facilitate discussion because of the ease in which they can be widely distributed to different forms of media. Accordingly, recording police activity in public falls squarely within the First Amendment right of access to information. At this juncture, with all reasonable inferences from the evidence used in favor of the state, we assert that if this had gone to a jury, no reasonable juror could find that the elements of the offense have been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Therefore, we're going to miscarry justice. We ask that the court dismiss this matter. If the court for some reason finds that somehow the government survives the First Amendment argument, we would assert that even under the statute, under which Mr. Freeman is charged, there still is no offense here. Mr. Freeman is charged with resisting arrest without violence, but by Officer Fairbairn's own admission when he testified, when he approached Mr. Freeman was placed in handcuffs without injury. There was no resistance of his arrest. That's what Officer Fairbairn testified. And now, while Officer Fairbairn may have been involved with executing the legal duties with respect to his grandmother, he was not involved with the legal duties of Mr. Freeman, and he did not issue a lawful order to Mr. Freeman. Therefore, Mr. Freeman was free to resist any unlawful orders without doing violence to Officer Fairbairn. And I have that's the second case I gave you, Judge, which is JTG versus State. It's a third district court of appeal opinion rendered in 1999. It's cited in 724 Southern 2nd 711. I would simply ask that based on First Amendment provisions, based on the current state of the law regarding police being filmed in public, that this court would dismiss this case, and the alternative is this court would dismiss this case based on the statutory interpretation and the failure of the state to meet the requirement of that charge under the statute.
Okay. Well, first I'd like to start with the fact that the city is not disputing that recording officer is a right. It's a constitutional right. It's a protected right. However, it is not one that's without limitation. And all of the cases that have been provided by Mr. Warren and myself, there's one common thread that all of these cases have. They afford that protection to a member of the public to report and one common thread that all of these cases is police activity. It is a state position and not only is it just in public, but also to record a matter of public interest, to inform the public of police activities of their officials, to make sure that police officers are not overstepping their powers or their boundaries. That is the intent of allowing the recording of police officers in public. One of the limitations is that it has to be a public place. But based on the testimony, this was not on a public sidewalk. This was not a traffic stop conducted on a public street. This was a private, sensitive investigation regarding a minor. With these types of investigations alone are classified or are restricted as far as information is concerned. Mr. Freeman was recording, he claims to be recording the officer. However, the grandmother, according to officer testimony, the grandmother and the CCIS investigators and Officer Vasquez were all in a circle together, within a foot of each other. If Mr. Freeman is recording the officers in their duties, he is also recording the infant and the grandmother. Therefore, that is why the grandmother was very visibly upset, according to the testimony of the officers and Mr. Freeman. She asked him to stop filming. He did not stop filming. There was a 1-year-old involved in it. That is not a matter of public interest. Mr. Freeman records this to be on social media, it could be on YouTube. This is a sensitive matter that should not have been recorded. He was asked to stop. This was in a private apartment complex in front of apartment number 4, which was all the way at the back of the apartment complex, which was the furthest, I guess it was the most eastern side. He had to pass apartment 1, apartment 2, apartment 3 in order to get to apartment 4, where the officer and the investigator and grandmother and the were seated. This was not from the sidewalk. The officer testified was about 90 feet from the public sidewalk, where he had to walk from in order to approach them. Granted, he may have been standing anywhere from 10 to 15 feet away from them. However, he still had to pass 3 apartments to get to them. This is not a right that's protected. That's the city's position. However, if the court finds that, if this wasn't a public place, again, the city's position is that the purpose of recording is to make sure the officers are not overstepping their boundaries and to be able to disseminate this information to the public. Again, this type of investigation regarding the 1-year-old is not public interest and should never be public interest. And that's where the city stands, that his actions of recording, upsetting the grandmother while she was in the investigation with Officer Fairborn and Officer Vasquez, got so sidetracked by his actions that she was not answering the questions of the officers. And that's the officer's testimony. One of the officers had to completely leave the investigation to go handle Mr. Freeman's actions. Because of his actions alone, that investigation was not completed by Officer Fairborn. Therefore, based on the charging documents for resisting without violence, the city charges him with obstructing or opposing an officer in the lawful execution of the duty. Officers
Go on, to wit.
correct, I'm getting there.
Refuse to obey officer's commands to stop interfering with an investigation.
The way he was interfering with that
So the
investigation,
officer's command.
the officer testified he asked him to stop recording. He did not stop. That is the officer's right. He is in the middle of an investigation. He commanded him to stop videotaping. Mr. Freeman did not. And that is why he was arrested for resisting that violence. Not for videotaping, for obstructing the investigation that Officer Fairburn was in the middle of conducting. And the cases that,
Okay, sorry.
it's okay. The cases that I provided to you also stand along the same lines that that recording a police officer in public is a protected right. And if you look at Chief Turner versus Lieutenant Driver, page 11 under footnote 26, I'll quote the court. The amendment protects the right to record police.
Where are you?
Page 11,
Okay.
footnote 22.
Okay.
Second paragraph?
Okay.
First paragraph, I'm sorry. The court agrees with every circuit that has ruled on this question. Each has concluded that the First Amendment protects the right to record the police. As the First Circuit explained, the filming of government officials engaged in their duties in public space and officers performing their responsibilities fits comfortably within the First Amendment principles. This right, however, is not without limitation. As is every other protected First Amendment right under the Constitution, there are limitations. There are time, place, and manner. There's content neutral. There are multiple different limitations on this. In this case, it is the position that Mr. Freeman went beyond the rules. Therefore, we ask that you find him guilty of obstructing an investigation.
So I think the court is well aware that it's just because someone owns a home and their home has a front yard, and the person decides that they're going to run out of their home naked and stand in their front yard, they can still be charged with public exposure. Doesn't mean so. And I am not making arguments that this property was private, because we have no evidence presented to the court that this property was either private or that it was public.
Let's get into that. The testimony with regard to whether this property is private.
So based on the officer's testimony, he details that these apartment complexes. He testified that they are managed by Lennox Apartments. This management company has a contract with the Fort Lauderdale Police Department in order to provide police presence on this property for people who don't belong there. That alone tells us this is a privately owned complex. This is not a publicly owned complex.
He said he didn't know.
He said he detailed it.
Right,
Officer
he
Beck
said he
said
didn't know.
he didn't know.
He said he didn't know if it was a government-owned housing project.
Okay, I don't remember him saying that, but
And Officer Vasquez said, I think the courtyard, I don't think the courtyard is a public place, but I'm not sure who owns it.
the fact of the matter is we're sticking to our.
I think both of you have the exact correct legal position. I get your legal position as to both. And while I agree with the city with regard to, I don't condone any behavior that would put a 1-year-old in harm's way of being filmed and then distributed on any sort of media recording, I do have, based on the evidence, the testimony before me, a reasonable doubt as to whether or not the city has proven the charge beyond a reasonable doubt, and for that reason, I'm going to find it not with that. But I recognize perfectly.
Thank you. Wow. Holy shit. So there you have it. If this camera is still running, I can't tell whether it did or not. Tried to keep it on the subjects. But it feels like I still feel some warmth on it. One of the It was. He did pretty good. I think the camera's still running. I'll turn it off in a second. High five. Well, come here. Come here. Give me a high five right in front of the camera. I hope it's still running. Let's go. Okay. But walk out with me. I'll hang out here. We'll go out together. Come on. Thanks. All right, everybody. You just saw it right there. If this camera's still running, it's been a couple hours, but I turned it on when I came in. I'll leave it running for when Nick comes out. Hopefully. They'll still be running. One of the ways you know these things are running is that you feel a little warmth against your skin while it's running. I'm gonna go talk to him real quick, and we're gonna talk real quick. Nick, we're gonna talk real quick, and then he'll go in and finish business, and I'm gonna turn the camera off. Okay, Nick. So I think this thing is still running. I turned it on before I came in. It doesn't have a light that gives it away, but it still feels warm, which usually means it's still running. It was not even 2 hours. What time is it now?
4:13.
Okay, 4:13. So it's just about an hour. So I think I'm good. I think this thing is good for a couple hours. So let me back up a little bit so we can do some quick filming. That's good. Awesome, everybody. You saw that. I caught the whole thing. I hope it's still running right now. And before I turn it off, go, Nick. Go, real quick.
Justice always prevails.
Fuck yeah. All right.
U.S. Constitution.
Cool, man. All right. We'll catch up with you when you're ready to go out.
Okay.
Take care, man. I'll be right here. Okay, there you saw it, everybody. That's it right there. Nice scenic shot of Florida. I think the camera's still running. And there it is there. And everybody, the trial of Big Nick. There it was.